On some of the storylines from the weekend we want to get into. Let's start with the Big Ten game. Of course, we just mentioned, Max, these two teams do not like each other. Are you going Michigan or Ohio State?
I'm going Michigan, even on the road, even against maybe a more talented team. It's going to be close, and I like the Harbaugh team in that case.
I'm rolling with Ohio State. Michigan got destroyed by them last year. It was assisted by the fact that Ezekiel Elliott rushed for 214 yards and 2 touchdowns. He's now with the Dallas Cowboys. But also J.T. Barrett ran for 139 yards and had 3 touchdowns last year. He's still there. Devion Smith, I expect him to be better this year. He only had 23 yards rushing against Ohio State last year. I think it's going to be a tighter game. I think it's going to be more hard-fought. I don't think they'll get as embarrassed heavily, but I still think that Ohio State, because of J.T. Barrett, will find a way to win this game.
Michigan State may have given everyone the blueprint. We'll see, or at least Michigan.
We shall see. Gentlemen, the Raiders need one more win to record their first winning season since 2002. Will they get it done against the Panthers? It's going to be a good one. Stephen A.
You know what? Believe it or not, I'm going to roll with the Panthers in this particular game. I think they're desperate. They know they can't afford another loss, although I think their hopes of getting to the playoffs are dashed. I think Cam Newton and the crew shows up against Oakland in this particular game. I think Oakland is talented. They'll make the playoffs, but I think they're feeling themselves just a touch, and I think they get brought down to earth a little bit and reminded that they still have work to do. I see the Panthers escaping with a close victory in this one.
Oakland, like a lot of high-flying offenses, I still believe is a little overrated, but less overrated than I used to think they were. I think they are actually improving. I agree with Stephen A. that the Panthers are in a desperate situation, and if you remember last year, this is when Cam really started balling, right about now. And yet I got to go with the Raiders. I think that they are not only were winning the close games, but they've come on recently and are starting to have the look of an actually good team, not just a high-flying offensive team that got a little lucky in their wins and losses. I like the Raiders.
We're going to learn a lot about both those teams on Sunday and these two. A battle of 7-3 teams in the AFC West between the Broncos and Chiefs. Max, who you got?
I like the Broncos. You know, I saw it for the same reason I was wrong about the Vikings, obviously, and the Lions yesterday. But for the same reason I like the Vikings. The Broncos, at a certain point in this season, looked special to me. You know, not as well-balanced like the Chiefs, but they had a special look on the defensive side of the ball. And generally, I prefer that kind of team. If you can show me something extra, something that I believe is elite in the league, I tend to favor that team, and I think that's the Broncos, and I think they can get back to being that team. I like them over the Chiefs.
I don't see the Chiefs losing 2 weeks in a row. I'm going to pick them to win this game.
All right, LSU has zeroed in on Houston's Tom Herman as its next coach and could have a deal in place as early as Saturday, sources telling our Chris Lowe. But another source is telling our Brett McMurphy that Herman hasn't ruled out an offer from Texas. Stephen A., where will Herman be coaching when we come back on Monday?
I have no idea. I'm just guessing, but I'm going to pick Texas. And the reason I'm going to pick Texas is very, very simple. 2 things. The money that they're going to throw at him and the fact that he won't have to worry about going up against Nick Saban, because I think Nick Saban is making it very hard for most coaches in this country to want to coach in the SEC because they don't want to go up against him.
I actually think the SEC would be a draw there, and LSU can almost match Texas in money. And importantly, LSU hasn't done a coach the way Texas is doing Charlie Strong right now. Sorry, Coach O. I think he winds up at LSU.
All right, Tom Brady seeking his 200th career win, which could tie Peyton Manning for the most combined regular season and postseason wins by a quarterback in NFL history, but will be without Rob Gronkowski. Max, will they get it?
Yes. Yes.
Stephen A.?
I agree. I agree. They're going up against the Jets. Can't even decide what quarterback they need out there most weeks right now. It's a bad situation for Bowles. Talent is suspect right now. Not enough weapons for Fitzpatrick. I'm going with Brady and the Pats.
Max, we'll see you on TV Saturday with the fight. Good luck. Have fun. And we'll see you all on Monday. Have a wonderful weekend. Thanks for being with us.
You're watching ESPN's Feast Week, presented by Lowe's.
Right now, on the right side of the end zone, it'll be Terrence Williams. That catch it. Touchdown, Cowboys. Prescott keeps. Pylon. Touchdown. Back goes Prescott. Bryant, a leaping catch at the 5.
Over and over again, at critical moments, he came up with big plays. He just played winning football for us, and he did the things that winning quarterbacks do. I just thought he was outstanding throughout this ball game.
You are right, Jason Garrett. Dak Prescott has now won 10 straight starts as a rookie, the second most in NFL history. The only other rookie quarterback to win more, it's one Ben Roethlisberger. Not bad company to be in. Stephen A., from what you saw yesterday, can Dak take this squad all the way to Houston for the Super Bowl?
No, I'm not giving him that. I mean, I'm not saying yes or no to it, but I'm saying y'all are not going to get me to sit on national television and concede a damn thing until I absolutely positively have to. It's week 10 of the regular, week 11 rather, of the regular season. The playoffs have not arrived yet. The competition that he's going against has been decent. He is to be respected for how phenomenal he has looked. Listen, I am a Cowboy hater extraordinaire who is fully capable of loving certain members of the Cowboys. Michael Irvin is my man to the end of time. So is Emmitt Smith, and I have profound respect for Troy Aikman, who does an exceptional job as an analyst, by the way, not just as a 3-time Super Bowl champion quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys during his heyday. Just because I can't stand their fan base, because I think the Dallas Cowboys fan base is the worst, most delusional, obnoxious fan base in American history, and I just can't stand them, doesn't mean that I ignore the greatness that I see from individual players wearing their team's uniform. Having said all of that, it will force me to hold down the fort and to make sure that we don't jump out ahead of the game and give respect before it's due. Dak Prescott is a stud. He's big time. But that doesn't mean he is profound enough to overcome the perpetual accident waiting to happen that is the Cowboys that we have known them to be. Until he proves otherwise, which comes postseason time, I ain't giving him a damn thing more than I just gave him. I'm holding down the fort. That is where I stand.
Now, come on. You know it when you see it. You mentioned Ben Roethlisberger, who, by the way, wasn't very good in the playoffs.
Nothing yet.
Wasn't very good in the playoffs the first time round. I mean, he made a tackle in the open field after throwing an interception, but you could see Ben Roethlisberger was a great football player. You can see the same thing in Dak Prescott, and you can smell it on a guy. You're not always going to be right about it, but you can have a pretty strong sense of the kind of player that would, play big in the big moments when you needed them to most. And Dak Prescott has there's every indication that he's that kind of guy. Again, it's been that way since the first time you saw him in preseason, if you're honest with yourself. Can Dak Prescott win a Super Bowl as a rookie? The answer is absolutely yes. He can do it. I'm not saying they will, but if they don't, it's not going to be because of Dak Prescott. It'll be because of the defense, as I mentioned earlier. They have a problem getting pressure on the quarterback. So as you saw yesterday, Kirk Cousins, who's a very good quarterback, having an excellent season this year, you can say that about him. But Kirk Cousins, looked like Peyton Manning because he had all day to throw. That will be, if they are undone, their undoing will be their inability to get pressure on the quarterback. It will not be Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott will not be the reason they don't win. If they don't win, because I'm here to tell you, and I think I just spat up in my mouth a little bit even thinking about it, the Cowboys can win the Super Bowl this year. I can't even say it. Don't make me say it. But Stephen A., it ain't going to be because of Dak Prescott if they don't. That guy's got it written all over him. He's a winner.
So Dak Prescott's not capable of having a bad game?
He's capable of it, sure, but ain't going to happen when you need him the most.
Dak Prescott's not capable of having a bad game come playoff time?
Derek Jeter was capable of having a bad game, but you wanted him up with the game on the line. Dak Prescott's that kind of dude, man. What are you going to deny that? You can see it.
Those are the things you say. Those are the things we said once Derek Jeter went to the postseason and proved he was Derek Jeter. We're waiting for that with Dak Prescott. We shall see.
In his rookie season, he did it. Tom Brady, too.
Yeah, look at the team he had with him.
Huh?
Look at the team he had with him. We'll see. We'll see. I'm not giving Dak Prescott anything yet. I acknowledge he's a young stud. I ain't giving it up. I ain't giving it up, not yet.
You just
I'm
wanna
going
be
to
late.
hold
You
down the
just-
fort. I'm going to hold down the fort.
You stay with
I'm
that.
going to hold it down.
You do that. The Seahawks, Legion
I'm
of
not
Boom,
moving.
they
I
might
ain't
have
giving
something
them
to say
nothing.
about it
I ain't
as
giving them
well.
anything more than I've already given
Okay.
them. Nothing else.
Okay.
Him or Zeke. And I know they studs. But damn it, show it in the postseason. We'll see.
All right.
We'll
Please
see.
don't, Dak. You don't
Okay.
need to show it in the postseason.
Let's
All right.
let's
Let them
leave
stick
it
up
there,
and join the
gentlemen.
postseason, and let's see what we're saying next.
We got more to get into because it is going down at the Shoe for a place in the college playoff. The guys will pick that game as well as many others in our quick takes. Stay here.